Hello and welcome to Dave's Delightful Dishes. As always, I'm Dave, and it's such a delight to have you here visiting me today in my kitchen with my dog. And today we're going to do something that I love quite a bit. We're going to have some salmon. Let's check it out. So I was recently traveling over on the eastern shore of Maryland, in Easton, Maryland, actually. And after stopping into a cigar lounge to enjoy a stick, we ended up in an animated conversation with a bunch of the gentlemen in there about, what kind of food they liked. And one of the guys suggested that salmon is really good and he likes it all the time. And I said, I also really love salmon, and it's something that we don't eat as much as we should because it's such a good fish. So I told them, like just kind of from the top of my head, this recipe that we're about to do that's an easy weeknight salmon with a little bit of an Asian flair. So we're going to take these ingredients and there aren't that many of them, and turn it into dinner. So first off, you want to get a nice piece of salmon. Depending on how many people you're serving is how big a piece you're going to get. Right now it's just myself and the wife, so I've got a 1 pound piece with skin on. Now, the reason I do skin on here, and I'm going to leave the skin on, is because on my baking technique later in the day will make it so that skin will come off easily at that point. But I need to get a couple of ingredients, which we showed, and I need a plastic bag. And this is fun because rather than having to dirty a bowl, I can just put it all into in a bag and marinate that way. So I have about a half a cup, and these numbers can vary depending on how much fish. You just want to make sure you've got full coverage. But just stick to the same kind of ratio. Half a cup of Thai sweet chili sauce. And having a rubber spatula kind of helps here if you're not pouring it directly out of the bottle. And a quarter cup, which is 4 tablespoons, of soy sauce. I use low sodium, but you don't have to. Just I get a lot of sodium in my diet. I didn't need any extra out of my soy. And then 2 teaspoons of ginger powder, or powdered ginger. And I'm just going to quickly seal this bag up. And I just, it's an easy way to mix. And look at that. I now have a marinade. So my fish will go in, skin on and all. If you happen to have it skinless, that's fine, but I'll talk about what you got to do differently when we get to the baking part of it later. Then I'm going to seal this bag up and get some good coverage all over the fish here. And then we're going to put this in the fridge and let it sit for at least a half an hour. Now, if you're going to do this as like a weeknight thing, you can prep this in the morning before you head off to work, and then it'll be marinated and ready for you when you get home. And then it's just a quick little jaunt in the oven to have a wonderful dinner. So let's let this marinate. I'll see you this evening. Normally, I would just say prepare your rice as normal, but I was just talking about rice cookers with a friend of mine. So this one is Zojirushi or Zojirushi, and it's a pretty popular brand, and it works great for me. So all I got to do is put in my rice, which in this case is a cup, and then for this rice, I know I need 1.5 cups of water, and then I put in just a dash of rice wine vinegar. And then you close the top, and I'm on white rice, and start. And it sings you a song to let you know what's working, and it sings a song when it's done. Okay, so it's been several hours, and for you it could be up to 24 hours, but at least 30 minutes of marinating this salmon. Now, because I've got a smaller piece, I'm just using a smaller tray because I've got 2 different size ovens, but whatever baking sheet you want, just put on some tin foil and do not coat it with anything. And then we're going to take this salmon fillet, and then I've washed my hands before, and I'm going to wash them right after touching this for sure. I'm going to lay skin side down in the middle of this tray the salmon fillet. And I'm just going to pour over some of that marinade. And then this is going to go in the trash. And this is going in a 375-degree oven for 15 minutes or thereabout. Every piece of fish is a slightly different thickness and size, and depends on how big your portion is. So you want this fish to flake freely with a fork before you call it done. So at 15 minutes, I start checking, and then from there, I add more time as needed. So I'll see you when this is ready. Okay, so this one took 18 minutes, but again, you just want to check for doneness. And I just went and a little piece flaked right off, so that's good for me. So now I'm going to go up under the skin. Yeah, I better put a mitt on, because that is still pretty hot right there. And I'm also going to cut this right down the middle, so that way I've got a half. This comes up and away, and the skin is left stuck to the foil. So now I've got my rice, and I got a nice piece of fish. And for my vegetable, I had some fresh broccoli spears that I found these meal prep cook bags for. So what I do is I take a portion of them, I put them in there, the fresh crowns, with a tablespoon of butter, and freeze them. And then when I'm ready to cook, I throw this in the microwave for 3 minutes, and it steams them and seasons them. So it's got a little tear here pouch. So all I gotta do is tear it across. I'm gonna pour in a portion. And now for a little bit of garnish, I have some green onion that I chopped. And then you can salt and butter the broccoli as you choose further, but honestly, that I would just leave just how it is and let your whoever's eating it decide how they want it seasoned. And so here you go. This is a sweet chili salmon with rice and broccoli. And isn't it delightful? And most of the time was spent passively between marinating and letting an automated rice machine go. You could do this on a weeknight pretty easily. The broccoli took 3 minutes. So I would love it if you guys would try this. For my new friends down in the cigar shop, here's another thing you can do with salmon. And for everybody else, if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, and check out the rest of my work. You'll see that down below in the other videos section. And you can check out my Instagram for pictures that didn't make it to the show and other things that I'm cooking. And it's also a good way to get in contact and to tell me what you'd like me to do next. But until that time, I'll see you at the next recipe.